and of doing things like camera, audio. So
I
it's
mean, literally everything, top to bottom. I try not to get into it too much on the platforms. I don't like to make it a lot about me. But
okay. Let me talk about that. I'm gonna get into that with you. The not wanting to talk about yourself, or you not wanting to. You think you may be patting yourself on the back, or you might be boasting and bragging. But it's okay to say what you're qualified for, what you've been through, because you know why? That opportunity that somebody might have heard you say that or seen you say that would have been a door to open, a window to open for you, didn't ever get this opportunity because you said, you know what, I'm going to save it for later.
Yeah.
But it could have been that moment. Somebody could have just been walking by. Somebody could have been watching.
Do you believe in a time and a place too, though?
I believe there's a time.
Or the speaking to the proper ears or the proper audience, or what message you deliver to specific audiences?
I think so. I would agree there, but how often do you know that to be absolutely correct, when the right time is and when the wrong time is?
I mean, without divulging too much, I can just go based off experience. In my experience, when I was talking about myself on these certain platforms, it wasn't received well. It looked like I was being arrogant. Or
by who?
I think by the masses. I think by the people that I'm indulging with in this F.M.W space. A lot of the fan base at first was automatically jumping on me as like, you think you better than, even before the Instagram post where I kind of dug myself a hole there. But even before that, it was just like, anytime I spoke on what I did, it was like, oh, you ain't shit, that don't matter, blah, 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 blah. So eventually it's like, there's a certain audience where you can cater to and deliver certain messages. So I felt like over time, it wasn't the best space for me to speak on my past. I mean, I have a very extensive past, and people always laugh at me by saying that, but I've been around for almost 20 years in everything you can think of industry. From the beginning of it to the tail end now to where I'm in, where you step out and you do stuff from the behind the scenes. Right. I was always the front of the scenes guy. Okay. I took my step back because it became a lot.
But okay, and then with that, are you going to let people that are around, or the audience, or the fans, or the viewers, or just your peers, are you going to let them dictate how you behave and what you say? It doesn't really matter how they receive the message. The message is what matters.
Is that I got it out.
You got it out, and you did your part, because no matter what, and this is in all walks of life, this is through everything, you can't please everybody. Right. You could be Michelle Obama trying to make America healthy, and then parents are going to say, "Hey,
you're doing something
wrong. My kids are they have the right to eat unhealthy." Right. And it's mind-boggling that they would even come up with that that logic, right? Like they would even come up with that logic, like, wait, what? So you can't really concern yourself with
what they're going to
say, like the reception, because their perception is their reality. Your perception is your reality.
Yeah. I think if I was in a different setting, I would have been a little bit different on it. I think, like you kind of mentioned back when everything was going on, once you're backed into a corner, you kind of get into a defense mode and a defense mechanism just naturally.
Absolutely.
And so I jumped the gun by doing that, and it became hard to try to want to explain myself after that. You know what I mean? I figured I would wait for the right time and place, or let people get more receptive to me first before I start to just speak on my accolades or what I can and can't do. But a lot of times, to the point of being backed in the corner, when you are backed in the corner, you tend to just shoot out what you can do. And that when it becomes to look arrogant. So I do want to do it.
That's my go-to.
Right. I do want to do it. I don't ever want to, as people probably can tell, I'm very outspoken. I'm very well-spoken. So I'm the type person who, I want to get it off. Right. I want to talk to you, and we can talk for hours in full, complete sentences and paragraphs. But a lot of people are short-winded and don't want to hear that. So I save it for the right time and right place, hopefully. And as I grew onto people, now people may be more receptive to my story. And hopefully platforms like this will allow that to get out naturally without it looking like I'm boasting and bragging, to those Texas years where I, really developed a lot of my talents and skills.
Because it's a thin line between like being reserved, right? Like reserving for later dates, but also like you don't want to ever make yourself smaller. You know what I mean? Like don't want to make yourself smaller in a room because you think like this is it. Never
turn down your light so that
turn,
you don't feel like you overshining everybody.
Absolutely, never do that. Like, because
I don't want to, but man, bro, I've not to cut you off, but I just
good.
like, I feel like this is the humbled arrogance I say. I feel like I've always had that aura to where, not necessarily, it sounds so cliche and crazy to say, like when I walk in a room, like light up the room, but I've always given an aura ever since a youth. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the charisma. I don't know if it's my image. I don't know if it's my height, if it's the tattoos, the light skin. I don't know what it is. I've always, people will tell you from my youth, family, girls, whatever the case may be, I've always had a contagious energy and aura. Whether you like it or not, it's some type of contagious. So I've always battled with having a bright light. And when I got to a point where the attention became a lot for me, or it was overbearing or on me emotionally and it didn't feel good, I started to turn that light down as much as I could.
Right.
And it wasn't even like a conscious take until you just said that. You made me realize that, damn, I do turn my light down, G.
Yeah, that's
and it's not good. You know what I'm saying?
And you turn your light down not to benefit you. You turn your light down to benefit everybody else around you.
Yeah, that's
so
cold take.
You're prioritizing the people that are around you that may not even give a fuck about you.
That's the first reality check.
And you're
on reality check with Rios. God damn. Like, I'm glad I pulled up.
You might be making yourself smaller for people that don't even give a fuck about you, or they don't have any goodwill or good intentions for you. And here you are putting them first, making yourself smaller.
No, that's cold. That's right.
This is the moment, and I've been saying it, 2024 is really our time, right? It's our time to grow and become who we are and to move into our future and what we're going to do.
Right.
And this is not a moment to turn off the light, to make yourself smaller. Right now, it's full throttle, 100%.
Turn that
full
bitch
speed. Up. Turn it up, because great things are on the other side. You know what I mean? And you can't, and I'm not saying like wolves don't worry about the thoughts of sheep or anything. I'm not saying anybody's a sheep. Everybody could be a wolf. Everybody could be a sheep. But guess what? Stet has to put himself first.
Right.
And so, and then we can get into the point of where we get defensive, right? And our defense is, maybe in your case, our defense can be, this is what I've done. This is what I've accomplished. This is, so now it's coming out. You having to say it.
Yeah. It backfired on me.
It backfired. So
because it didn't come out the right way.
It didn't come out organic. It came out as in, like, say your significant other is complaining about you, like saying, oh, you know what? I want to talk to you about this. You've had this habit of not taking out the trash and this and that. And then your first response is, before even answering that, is, well, you didn't do such and such.
But I did this, and this.
So instead of receiving the information, you react, right? You attack.
Right.
So now your information comes out unorganic,
defensive.
It comes out defensive, it comes out cocky,
right.
confident, it comes out fast, it comes out loud.
Yeah.
You know
I did that. I made that mistake. I admitted to it. I definitely, in retrospect, would have done a few things a little bit differently. So it could have been organic. But I hope that as time is going on, people are realizing that it comes from an organic place, that I'm not coming from a place of arrogance when I say what I can do and what I've accomplished. But like when people try to diminish your light, even when you don't want them to, that's a defense mechanism. You know what I'm saying? To spit out your accolades and things you've done, to be like, hey, don't play with me. But